So now we're going to learn spiritual healing in connection with Parashat Emor, and this parasha includes the mitzvah to count the Omer, as it says, דבר בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, כי תבואו אל הארץ אשר אני נותן לכם, וקצרתם את קצירה, והבאתם את עומר ראשית קצירתכם אל הכהן, והניף את העומר לפני השם לרצונכם ממחרת השבת, יניפנו הכהן, ועשיתם ביום הניפתם את העומר, כבש תמים בין שנתו לעולה להשם. So Hashem tells Moshe, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you come to the land which I'm giving you, you reap its harvest, you shall bring to the Kohen an Omer of the beginning of your reaping. That's the barley harvest, I'm adding that. And he shall wave the Omer before Hashem so that it will be acceptable for you. The Kohen shall wave it on the day after the day of Shabbat, and on the day of your waving the Omer, you shall offer up an unblemished lamb in its first year as a burnt offering to Hashem. So this is in this week's parasha, Vayikra 23, verse 10 to 13. So we know that we have the spiritual healing practice of making every day count in the Omer. Instead of killing time, which is an expression that always really bothered me when I heard people say something like, let's kill some time. We actually have the opportunity to give birth to every single day in our lives and elevating. We can enliven, instead of killing, we are giving birth, we are bringing life through our thought, speech, and action by devoting them to Torah and to holiness. We learn this from Ruth the Moabite when she said to Naomi, the name of the man with whom I made the day is Boaz. So she made the day with him through the spiritual practice of working the Sefirot, which are the divine emanations or radiances emanating from God's creation process and embodied by us. Through working these Sefirot, we make every single day count, like Ruth did. Made the day. We make the day. The days of the Omer are exquisitely beautiful, yet this period also is ambivalent. While the nature around us is unfolding and it's so beautiful, and every day new flowers open and the trees starting to bud tiny, shiny fruits. It's also the time where some people suffer from allergies, like myself. It's as if the light at this time is just too intense. We don't have a vessel that's strong enough to hold all this light, to receive all this light. And perhaps that's the same reason why the 24,000 students perished in a plague at this time. The reason given is that they didn't respect one another fully, but perhaps it also has to do with the specific time that we don't have a vessel to hold all this light. So this time became a semi-mourning period. The Omer period is thus dedicated to rectifying our character trait by trait weekly until our vessels shine at the giving of the Torah on Shavuot. During the first week of the Omer, we worked on rectifying chesed, loving kindness. While emulating Avraham and Sarah's kindness and hospitality, we also learned how to set proper boundaries. That's part of chesed, to know until when chesed, how much chesed we can give. For example, in last week's parasha, Acharei Mot, it mentions all the forbidden sexual relationships. We read it on Yom Kippur, and one of them is incest between brother and sister. And it calls it, this is forbidden because this is chesed, meaning there is no proper boundaries with the sibling love in this case. So the second week of the Omer was dedicated to learning from Yitzhak how to strengthen our gevurah and self-discipline power. During the third week, we integrated the Tiferet, the compassion of Yaakov, and now we're in the fourth week, and we work on Netzach, victory, becoming steadfast in overcoming obstacles, and aligning ourselves with the eternal Torah of Moshe. Many pious and dedicated women, especially in recent years, have taken upon themselves the spiritual practice to count the Omer, including many of my own students. I'm really proud of the dedication of these women and that they take upon themselves even more that the halacha requires of women. Even so, I personally do not count the Omer, and that is for Kabbalistic reasons, which I'm going to explain below. First of all, I want to say that many rabbis say that women can count the Omer. So those of you who do so, you don't have to change anything because of what I'm sharing with you. I'm just sharing what I do and why I don't. But that doesn't mean there is not other opinions and other legitimate approaches. And I believe in the importance of working and on building our character trait by trait in the Omer period, no less than women who meticulously count the Omer. But there are some reasons why women are exempt from this mitzvah, and traditionally women didn't count the Omer, says Rabbi Yisrael Meir Kagan in his Mishnah Brura, 489.3. And this is, of course, because the mitzvah of counting the Omer is included in the positive time-bound mitzvot that women are exempted from. But there is deeper reasons. The practice of women refraining from counting the Omer is based on the Zohar and Arizal. So I'm going to quote you the Zohar in English. Since these days of the Sefirah are days from the realm of the masculine, this counting of Sfirat Omer was given over to the males alone. That's Zohar part 397a. So I'm going to venture to explain this Zohar. It's not so easy. It's all very mystical and esoteric. What does it mean that counting the Omer is from the realm of the masculine? I am going to try to be bold with humble reservations and venture to explain to the best of my limited ability what it seems to me. So first of all, the Omer was referring to a measurement of barley seeds that was sacrificed every day at this time period. So barley seeds provide a masculine imagery. It may even entail a rectification for spilled seeds, which a very serious sin for men, but that it doesn't pertain to women. Furthermore, the entire concept of counting anything, is a linear masculine process, ascending in a straight line from day to day. So the feminine process is more circular, or I like to call it spiralic, returning back to the starting point, but keep moving like higher and higher within the circle. That's the spiral. Like the formation of a pearl, like Eshet Chayil, were compared to the pearls. Women work on adding layer upon layer of holiness. And that's different from men, who from the time of removing the male baby's foreskin must work on purifying self of their husk, meaning removing the extras. This is reflected also in a prayer that we recite after counting the Omer, and it goes like this: Master of the universe, you have commanded us through Moshe, your servant, to count Sefirat HaOmer in order to purify us from our husks and impurity. So I am convinced that there are deeper reasons for the Kabbalists discouraging women from counting the Omer. Apparently, according to the Arizal, this practice is not even permitted for women. This is what Rav Pa'alim Sod Yesharim 12 writes, based on Arizal, and he writes, our Rav, the Arizal, had to explain specific reasons regarding Sfirat HaOmer, that they are not applicable to women, to teach us that the women are not permitted to fulfill them voluntarily, like other positive time-bound mitzvot, like shaking the lulav, eating in the sukkah, and many others, is time-bound positive mitzvot that women can fulfill, and even Ashkenazi women can say a bracha over them. There are several texts in the Arizal about this topic, the topic about women not being permitted to say Sfirat HaOmer. For example, he explains that counting the Omer is the drawing from the male to the female. We would hope that most healthy women are predominantly female with the ability to rise to feminine waters. That's the job of the woman, from below to above, rather than the other way around, which is drawing the male down to the female. That's part of counting the Omer. And this is what he says. There's another intention in the matter of counting the Omer. One needs to meditate to draw down from the 49 male days to the 49 female days. Since the intention is to draw down spiritual energy to Malchut, which is the female, therefore one must draw down from above to below, from Chesed to Malchut, and bring spiritual energy from above the male to below the female. So this is from Arizal, Sha'ar HaKavanot, Inyan Sfirat HaOmer, Drush 11. And Arizal furthermore explains that all the positive mitzvot are rooted in chesed, which is a male quality, as opposed to the female gvura. And part of the positive mitzvahs are revealed chesed. They're the ones that also relate to women. But the time-cost positive mitzvot are concealed chesed. And those concealed chesed lights, women don't have any part of. Says the Arizal in Hakdama Sha'ar HaMitzvot. So this time of the Omer period is nevertheless an auspicious time for aligning ourselves with the 7 lower Sefirot, each of the 7 weeks with one of these holy Sefirot. So whether you count the Omer or not, the period of the Omer is really special and auspicious for working on the Sefirot and incorporating them and integrating them into our character trait and into our lives. According to the Shlach Kodesh, being created in a divine image entails having the perfect ability to perfect ourselves and reflect Hashem through manifesting the divine Sefirot within our entire being. The 7 lower Sefirot embody the lights of emotion that we need to balance during the 7 weeks of counting the Omer. Each of the Sefirot also includes within itself an element of all the others, because they're all inter-included within each other like a hologram. This fractal structure is one way where the Sefirot are infinite or divine in their essence. Every day of the Omer offers the opportunity to work on a specific Sefirah aspect of the dominating Sefirah of that day. We can all work on expressing every Sefirah on its highest note by balancing and fine-tuning each of the Sefirot, integrating their lights within each other. One important EmunaHealing tool is called matching the resonance. What you do in matching the resonance is you take one person or a spiritual concept or an entity in one hand, and then you take the other person, a concept or an entity in the other hand, and then you ask, I request to match the resonance between X and Y. And then you wait just almost or a maximum of 1.5 minutes while you try to feel the energy between your hands. To achieve balance in the flow of the Sefirot manifested within us, we can do this EmunaHealing. We can use this EmunaHealing technique to match the resonance of each of the Sefirot, and that's what we're going to do in this meditation exercise for matching your resonance with the 7 emotional Sefirot. I hope you're ready. Settle yourself in your space. You may want to find a beautiful nature spot to relax into, taking in the sky, the clouds, the birds, the wind, the earth, the grass, and flowers. Breathe in the soft caress of nature all the way into your forehead. Breathe out of your forehead any doubts and worries. Inhale Hashem's light of kindness into your right shoulder and exhale any tension you may hold there. Now inhale divine power and strength into your left shoulder and exhale any pressure you may feel there. Open your arms a bit more than shoulder distance apart, allowing your palms to face one another. Designate your left arm and hand to represent you and the right to represent the Sefirah of Chesed. Keep the arms and palms in the same position while reciting. I request to match myself with the light of Abraham's Chesed, which is kindness. Feel the energy like an electric current between your hands. Then shake out your arms and then reposition them, this time designating your right arm to represent you and your left arm to represent the Sefirah of Gvura. Then recite, I request to match myself with the light of Yitzchak's Gvura. Which is also strength. Again, feel the energy like an electric current between your hands. Now place your hands between your breasts and breathe Hashem's light of compassion into your heart. Breathe out of your heart any pain and trauma you may have experienced. Reposition your arms and palms in the matching resonance pose. Keep the arms and palms in the same position while reciting. I request to match myself with the light of Yaakov's Tiferet, compassion. Feel the energy like an electric current between your hands. Then relax your arms and hands. Breathe in Hashem's life-giving energy into both of your kidneys. Breathe out of your kidneys in the back below your rib cage. Worry and fear. Reposition your arms and palms in a matching resonance pose. Imagine the left hand representing yourself. Now recite, I request to match myself with the light of Moshe's Netzach, eternity. Feel the energy like an electric current between your hands. Now take the energy of yourself in your right hand, reciting, I request to match myself with the light of Aharon's code, empathy. Feel the energy like an electric current between your hands. Shake them off. Relax. Inhale Hashem's light into your pelvic area. Exhale any tension from your pelvis. Reposition your arms and palms in a matching resonance pose. Keep the arms and palms in the same position while reciting. I request to match myself with the light of Yosef Yesod, foundation. Allow yourself to feel the energy like an electric current between your hands. Then let your arms relax. Breathe in Hashem's light of royalty all the way down into your feet. Breathe out of your feet any insecurity and ungroundedness. Reposition your arms and palms in a matching resonance position. Keep the arms and palms in the same position while reciting. I request to match myself with the light of David's Malchut. Feel like an electric current between your hands. Relax your arms and hands. Now with your eyes closed, allow yourself to feel the energy of each of the Sefirot, connecting with each other and shaping through you, and shining through your entire being. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.